Testing, testing. I'll just do the intro and then.
For today's first rotation, both teams will compete on floor exercise. First up for Michigan, David Woma.
Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to Cliff Keen Arena here in Ann Arbor, Michigan. Today we're watching the number 3 ranked University of Michigan Wolverines take on the number 12 Army Black Knights. I'm Cameron Bach, current USA Senior National Team member and former Michigan gymnast, commentating alongside Abbey High School, who is also a former Wolverine gymnast and NCAA champion.
And first up now, you're seeing junior David Woma getting the Wolverines off to a good start. He scored a 12.95 last weekend at the Windy City Invite, so looking to get the Wolverines started on a good note here. So far, so good.
And a nice couple passes from David Woma. Let's see if he can keep it going.
Good save there at the end. Good start for the Wolverines there. Next up, starting off for Army, we have Nick Lester. He's a freshman, but he's made an immediate impact so far for them. He's competed in the all-around for the past couple weekends. Last weekend at their West Point Open, he scored a 12.15 on floor. So looking to get them started off on a good note as well. He's one of their top scorers on floor this year too, so definitely a good reliable freshman to start off their meet with.
Starts off with a nice Arabian double front. Nice front double full punch front tuck. There's a back double tuck. Also nice landing there. Nice front laid out full. And a nice back double full to end the routine. Very, very clean.
Yeah, good start for the freshman. Like I said, he's made an immediate impact very early on for the team. So
For Michigan, on the full exercise, Landon Blitz.
next up, we have sophomore Landon Blix, and he starts from a 6-0, so they're looking for a really good score here from Landon. He's an All-American. He All-American last year as a freshman on this event, so he definitely has that experience to get another solid score in for the Wolverines here.
Yeah, this is going to be a big routine for the Wolverines. Starts off with a huge double-double half. Nice full punch double front. Little low landing there, but that's okay. Another huge double-double. Landon just has a ton of power in his routine.
Something nice you'll also notice about Landon is he has great artistry, which is sometimes hard to do on an event that's so powerful like floor, but on skills such as the press handstand that he's doing right now, you can really see that toe point, extended long legs that shows off that artistry, which is a huge part of gymnastics.
Definitely. Nice back 1.5 punch front double full.
Good, let's see if we can end this routine with a solid stick here. Nice, great routine from Landon.
Almost got that stick.
Presents from the floor exercise for Army, Jaden Blank.
Up next for Army, we have Jaden Blank. He's another freshman. This Army team is really young. They're relying pretty heavily on some of these younger guys, but they have started off the season super strong. Jaden last weekend, he scored a 13-2, and he's one of the top scorers on floor for Army this season. So again, looking for another big score from him. Might be seeing him in the all-around tonight. We'll see what he has planned for us. So
Starts with a
nice.
huge back 3.5. Nice second pass there. Back 2.5 punch front layout. A little low landing, but that's okay.
Good save.
Good save. Nice stick there.
All right, next up we have Paul Judah. We're very excited to see him back in action in NCAA. Missed last season due to injury, but I know the team is super excited to have him back out here. He won floor at the U.S. Championships last summer, so looking for another big hit here. Starts from a 5.9, so it should be another great score if he can dial in those landings.
Yeah, this is going to be a huge set from Paul right here. Starts out with a huge front full punch double pike. Little low landing, couple steps back. Nice 2.5 punch front layout, very clean. Nice
Great.
front handspring, front Randy, which is a front 2.5 twist. Back double full, save that stick.
Here's his signature move, the flare master, as legend Kohei calls him.
Oh, he's awesome at those.
Great execution from Paul. Same thing that I said about Landon. You'll notice the same thing in Paul. His great execution on all of his gymnastics.
Absolutely. He had a routine at the USA Championships last year where he stuck every single pass.
Not an easy thing to do.
No. When a low landing there, he saved it.
Good save for Paul.
Got away without the fall.
Next up for Army, we have Maximilian Rubin, another freshman. Like I said, this is a very young team, and they are proving to be very reliable very early on in their careers. He scored a 13-3 last weekend, qualified him to event finals, and he's another top scorer for this team so far this year on floor. So looking for a good score from him. Little score update here, 14-3 for Landon's routine. Great score for the Wolverines, 13-7-5 for David Woma, which is a season high for him. So great start for them. 12-6-5 for Nick Lester and 11-9-5 for Blank. Great start for both teams.
Up next for Army on floor exercise, Maximilian Rubin.
Starts with a nice double front tug. A nice whip, punch back 2.5 twist. Pretty unique pass, I'd say. Front double full, just a one step there. Nice front Rudy stick. Nice back double full stick. Nice triple full to end. Big step there, but a triple full at the end of any routine is definitely tough. And we're still early in the season, so all of these guys' endurance levels are not quite what they want them to be, but that's to be expected.
And up next for the Wolverines, we have senior Javier Alfonso. So Javi, he has a little bit of a lower start value, still starts from a 5.2, but what you'll notice about Javi is he has exquisite execution. Toe point, everything. On all the events he does, he has great execution. Last weekend, he scored a 13-4 on floor, which was the second highest for the team. So Javi is a reliable competitor on here, and his execution is to die for.
Huge double-double to start. Great landing there. Back 2.5, punch front tuck. I think he was supposed to do a front layout there. Must have gotten a bad punch, but it's okay. It's a back 1.5, punch front full. Got a little caught up there on the press, but it won't be too big of a deduction. Nice Russians to the split. Good stick there. And he sat it down. Just didn't have enough power at the end of the routine.
Like Cameron said, it's early in the season. These guys are going to be looking in to dial in those landings later on once they get into postseason. So definitely a disappointing finish, but I know that they'll dial in those landings when they hit postseason.
Definitely. And a lot of these guys as well are trying to put in some new upgrades, increase their difficulty scores. So it makes sense that they're going to have some errors here and there. And it makes the endurance factor much, much harder, especially on an event like floor.
Next up for Army, we have Franco Periano. He's a senior. He's another top scorer for this team. He's a senior veteran. He's regularly seen in the floor and vault lineups. He scored a 13-2 last weekend. So they're definitely relying on his veteran competing abilities here to get that good, hopefully maybe break into the 13s here.
And a nice stick to start that routine. He sat down the double front. Looks like he kicked out of it a little bit early. A nice 1.5 punch front fold to save the routine. Nice back 2.5 punch front layout. It's always tough having a fall early on in the set because you feel like you need to save every single 10th afterwards just to save the score, but he's doing a great job so far. That triple full, thought he had it, kind of stumbled forward. Nevertheless, good effort.
Couple score updates here. Paul Judah with a 13-4-5, a little bit lower than I think they were hoping, but was a little hoppy there. Had a couple quick saves there. 12-6-5 for Ruben, and then we have a 12-5-5 for Javier. And last up on floor for Michigan, we have Crew Bold. They've been really relying on Crew recently, especially last year when some of the heavy hitters like Paul was out. And Fred had elite competitions going on, so they really started relying heavily on the experience of Crew being a fifth year. So he was their highest scorer last weekend at Windy City with a 13-4. So again, looking for another solid hit here.
Final competitor for Michigan, floor exercise.
And Crew doesn't have the biggest start value in the world, but he's great at sticking, and that's what makes it such a great routine. Big hop there. Nice double stick. Actually, small hop there at the very last second. Nevertheless, good landing. Nice 2.5 front layout. And even though he's not sticking all of these passes, he's trying as hard as he can to eliminate those 3/10 deductions, which are the large hops, and turn those into 1/10 small hop deductions, which makes a big difference at the end of the routine. Nice stick there in the 1.5 punch front tuck full. Clean double Arabian. And a nice double Arabian with another half twist out to finish the routine. Hop on the dismount. A little hoppy overall, but honestly, still a great set.
Absolutely. And then last up for Army, we have senior captain Steven Manilakis. He is a leader for this team. He's elected captain this year. He competed in all 11 meets on floor and vault in his sophomore season. So he did not compete on floor last weekend, so this will be his season debut on floor. But with that experience and the leadership that he has, I have no doubt that he will end Army on a good note with this routine.
Final competitor on floor exercise for Army, Steven Manilakis.
Starts off with a nice full in, double back with a full twist. Back 2.5. Nice back 1.5 punch front full. Nice stick there in the back layout. And a front double full to end the routine. Couple hops here and there, but a good way to finish it for Army.
Definitely a solid way to end the rotation.
So we're still waiting on the last score for Army, but a 67.7 for Michigan to start on floor, which is definitely better than their last couple weeks. I believe they got in the mid 65s for their last couple meets on floor, so definitely an improvement there.
Definitely, especially highlight Landon Blix there, 14-3. Like I said, he's an All-American, and he showed that today. He has that high start value and great execution. You know, a lot of the guys out there today, even the guys who didn't have the super high starts, the execution was there. So you can get a couple more difficulty skills in there. The execution's already there, which is generally the hardest part. So.
Yeah, definitely. And having the endurance to do all that difficulty, especially at this early in the season, is very, very impressive. So big things coming for Landon.
0-0, and for Army, 62.550.
And Army finishes with a 62.55 on floor.
At this time, we would like to recognize Landon Blix for his outstanding performance on the floor today. All right, fans, it's time to get up on your feet. Who wants a free t-shirt?
We got pommel horse next, and in this relatively new format of head-to-head competition, we got both teams going on the same event at the same time, with each team alternating who goes first. So now Army will start on the pommel horse, followed by the Michigan competitors.
Yeah, and Army will be starting with sophomore Blaze Kennedy. So he competed regularly on horse and ring, or P-bars, as a freshman. So he definitely has some experience on this event, and it shows. Last weekend, he scored a 13.5, which qualified him to event finals that same weekend. And he's one of their top scorers on this event. So, you know, another great underclassman to start this rotation off strong.
Today, it is the pommel horse competing first for Army, Blaze Kennedy.
Starts out with a scissor, picks up in his circles. Nice swing so far. Nice travel, we call that Tong Fei. Does a Savato, then a Magyar, couple travels, little form break, and a nice dismount to end.
Great routine.
Not too much difficulty in there, but being the first up on horse is such a hard position to be in, so it's a great hit for Army right there.
We have junior Logan McEwen starting the Wolverines off. He doesn't have the highest start value out of their lineup, but he is Mr. Consistent, man. He goes up and he's been hitting this whole season so far. I know it's early on in the season, but he's been a great person to start off on this event. Last weekend he had a little bit of a hard time. He stayed on the horse, but had a few form breaks here and there. But again, Mr. Consistent, he stays on that horse, man.
Let's see if he can do it again today. Nice scissor full to start, and a half scissor to go back up. A nice flop sequence there when he's on the one pommel. Nice Russian down to the leather into a tong fei. And he struggles the dismount, but he gets it up. I believe he'll get credit for that dismount, but definitely a large deduction for stopping there. Nevertheless, good hit. Great for him for staying on. As I said before, it's so hard being the first one up, especially on pommel horse.
Next up, we're seeing again Nick Lester, that freshman that's been freshman phenom for the Army team. He scored well last weekend with a 12-8. He has that pommel swing that you see from those pommel specialists. So I know they're relying on him to get another solid score here in for them.
Second for Army on the pommel horse, Nick Lester.
Starts with a nice scissor full. Picks up in the circles. And a nice Bailey. Oh, I want to fall off the horse. Seemed like he just kind of got off balance a little bit there. I always say pommel horse is one of the toughest events in terms of falls, because if you're off even a little bit, you're off completely, and that's a full point of deduction for a fall.
Once you're off your rhythm, it's kind of hard to get it back on something that's that small.
Yeah, almost impossible. Nice Magyar and a Savato. Very clean lines. And a nice dismount to finish.
Good finish to that routine. Not the routine he was hoping for, but definitely a good finish. Good finish, and his teammates will help him bring it back after that.
Absolutely.
Next up for the Wolverines, we have Zach Granados. He is a horse specialist, if you can't tell by the height. He has that swing I was just talking about. Extended hips, very long line. He's a staple in their horse lineup. Last weekend scored a 13.35. He's a couple form things that he's been working on diligently. So once he gets those figured out, man, you better watch out for him.
Yeah, and he's already getting high scores too.
Mm-hmm.
But Zach's come a long way. He had a couple issues with consistency last year, but he's really just stepped it up another notch this year. So it's been awesome to see.
Definitely.
Competing second for Michigan on the pommel horse, Zachary Granados.
And a nice scissor fold down the horse to start. And that right there is called a vomit. It's a double tong fei. Very, very hard. Nice Magyar. the Savato, and you can see the long lines, the pommel specialist lines like Abby was talking about. The crazy skill there, the sewn, the full care, full spin on one arm, super hard. And a nice triple Russian dismount to flank off the side. An interesting dismount, a different one, but it's his own style. Great routine from Zach. Little form breaks here and there, but nevertheless, it's going to be a good score.
Next up, we have Gabe Almeida. He's a junior. He scored 13-2 last weekend, so that's a great score for pommel horse. Like Cameron said, it's you don't see quite as high of those scores like you see on floor and vault. So 13-2 is a great score. He's regularly seen on horse, so he has that veteran experience here. So looking to get them back on track after the little slip up from Lester.
Absolutely, 13-2 is an incredible score. Anything above 13 on horse, in my opinion, these days with the current judging and the current rules, very good.
Competing third on the pommel horse for Army, Gabe Almeida.
He starts with the McCulloch, coined after Sam McCulloch, a former Michigan Wolverine, into some ginormous flares. A full spindle in the flares. And another side travel in the flares. It's an incredible routine. A flared Magyar. Another half spindle in the flares. Another half spindle in the flares. Into a nice handstand dismount. That's an incredible routine. Super unique. Awesome to see. That's going to be a good score for them.
Great way to get them back on track, too. And he makes that look easy, and I can assure you, I've never done a flare, but it is not easy.
No, it's definitely not. I have one or two flare skills in my own routine, and they're definitely tough.
Next up, we have Landon Blixt. Landon is great. Landon's a great all-arounder, but he's very good at horse. He has a high start value. He starts from 15-8. Last weekend, he had a solid routine, got a 13-6, and he can hit big here. So if he can just stay on, don't get too far ahead of himself, he can really score high here for the Wolverines.
Mm-hmm.
A massive 13-8 for Zach, so I know that he's going to be excited about that.
That's a huge score.
Competing third for Michigan on the pommel horse, Landon Blixt.
Starts off with a nice McCulloch and a full scissor up. And just look at the line, look at the speed he's got going. Great full care. Once again, that full spin on the one arm, super difficult. Got off a little bit there, saved it. A little split there, but he's saving it well. Nice Magyar. The Savato. Looks a little tired. He seemed like he gassed out a little bit on the dismount. And Landon's in great shape. But when you start getting off on the pommel, it makes the routine exponentially harder. So
Absolutely.
that's why you saw the travels got a little bit slower, a little bit more knee bends in there. So he saved it as well as he could. And a handstand dismount to finish. Not the routine he wanted, but nevertheless, good fight. Once again, still earlier in the season, and I know his endurance is just going to get better and better, so he'll figure it out.
So after that 13-4-5 from Gabe, next up we have Maddox Pabian, and he is the rookie and specialist of the year, so and the top scorer on this event. So they are looking for another big hit from him. He scored a 13-8 last weekend, which is, again, a huge score on horse. And, you know, he's fully capable of doing that again. Like I said, event specialist. He made it to NCAA finals last year on this event, so definitely has good experience as only a sophomore, too. So
yeah, I think we can expect a huge set here. And a 13-4-5 for Almeida in the last set. That's a great score.
huge.
Starts in the nice scissor, picks up into a nice circle. And once again, that full care, the full spin on the one arm. Very clean. Nice Stockleys, nice flops. Has a good line in the circle. Little knee bend there. And a Tong Fei. Nice Magyar, nice Savato. He's got a great line going here. Oh, and he just couldn't get the dismount up. They're not going to give him credit for that dismount, so he's going to have to repeat it again. When you go up on the pommel dismount and then your hips drop back down, they don't give you credit for the skill. It was flowing really well up until that point, though.
Yeah, I love the fight from it too. It's not easy, like we have been saying. It's not easy once you get off on that horse. It is so hard to get back on, especially once you get all the way through the routine and it's just the dismount left. So definitely not quite the routine he wanted, but you can see it. It's there. He's a great horse guy, and definitely will be relying on him throughout the season.
Yeah, and you can tell with that second dismount that he attempted that was a much better dismount in general. He has the endurance, he has the strength, it's just putting it all together, so it'll come in due time.
Next up, we have Frederick Richard, also known as Frederick Flips, for those of you who follow him on Instagram. Really excited to see him back in NCAA action. He's been rather busy on the international scene, was at a world championship with teammate Paul Judah a couple months ago where they were super successful. Brought home the first team medal in almost 10 years. So they are very excited to have him back in this lineup. He starts from a 6-2, so he has the potential to score a 16-2, assuming everything's perfect, which is very hard to do. But again, could be a massive score here for the Wolverines as well.
Yeah, this is going to be a huge set, not only for Michigan, but for Fred himself. Starts with a scissor handstand, very unique, very difficult skill. Now watch him triple Russian in the middle. Super hard, into nice flares. Just incredible capabilities in terms of flares. Now watch this skill. Crazy. Triple Russian on the end. Nice Magyar. Nice Savato. This routine is pretty much flawless at this point.
Wow.
And a huge dismount to finish that routine. That was an incredible set from Fred. One of the best I've ever seen him do, honestly.
That was awesome. And you know, the cool part about Fred is he's the one who pushes himself to do these lofty routines. You know, yesterday at practice, he looked at Xiao and was like, Xiao, we doing 6'2" or 6'0"? And didn't even wait for Xiao's answer. He's like, I'm doing the 6'2".
Yeah,
you know, it's really cool
absolutely.
to see that he never settles, is always pushing to get better.
And he can even add more to that routine, too. So, big things in store.
All right, and for Army, we're ending with a freshman, Noah Duran. He scored a 13-4 last weekend, so definitely has the capability to end them on a good note. He made his collegiate debut earlier this season against Penn State on horse and P-bars. So he has a couple meets under his belt, so hopefully he can end them on a high note here.
And once again, 13-4, great score, so he has the ability to put up a big number here for Army to finish it out. A nice scissor to start, picks up in the circles, nice line to start. You can see the extension, it's just incredible. Legs glued together. Nice Stockley flops, very difficult. A nice Magyar travel. Savato. And barely gets up the dismount, but he got it up there. That's going to be a good score, I think.
Great finish for them.
Yeah, great finish.
And last up for the Wolverines, we have Paul Judah. He also has a super high start value of a 5'8". He's an All-American on this event. He he busts out those awesome signature flares of his, and man, he is awesome on this event. If he can hit, it'll be another big number for them, and I know that they're really excited to see him back out there.
And Paul's routine is pretty much all flares. I think he has a couple scissoring skills, but other than that, it's entirely flares, so it's going to be an exciting one to watch.
Competing fifth for Michigan on the pommel horse, Paul Judah.
Nice scissor full to start. Just look at the lines and the flares, yeah. He just got off. He was going for a variation of what we call a Buznari, which is a super difficult G value skill. I think with the variation he used, it's an F value skill, which means it's 6/10. He just got a little bit off kilter there.
No doubt he'll bring it back here, though. Paul is such a dynamic athlete across the board. You know, I can't even pick an event that is his best event because he's just so good across the board. And
agreed.
Dynamic, clean on every event. So
Yeah.
he'll definitely bring it back here and bring it home good.
Yeah, and you can see with the power and the flares that he's charged up now. He wants to finish this good.
Yeah.
Nice side flare travel. He's gonna whip this flare up to a handstand. A very nice finish, yeah.
Again, not quite the routine he was hoping for, but another thing I like about Paul is he goes big. So he's pushing himself, pushing some hard routines here, and this is the time to do it. So he can perfect it by the time postseason hits and even international elite competitions that he's hoping for.
Absolutely. And also the good thing about Paul is his form is so impeccable, especially in the flares, that even though he fell, it's almost going to be nullified by the fact that he did an almost perfect second half of his routine.
Absolutely. You love to see that. You need to maximize what you can.
So a 13.25 to finish for Army from Duran. Not a bad score. I think Michigan judges are notoriously tough on the pommel horse, so not a bad 62.85 from Army on pommel horse.
Still highlighted by Gabe. That was a great routine, scoring in at 13.45. So definitely a highlight of the rotation for them. And then a 15.0 for Fred on horse.
An absolutely ginormous score.
Huge score there. Paul Judah still even 13.9 with a fall. That's what we were talking about. That execution is way up there, even with the guys who, even higher than some of the guys who stayed on. So that's where it counts.
Oh, absolutely. And they finished with a 67.3, which is much better than their last couple weeks as well. So.
All right, fans, once again, it's time to get up on your feet. Who wants a free t-shirt?
And now we're going to go to the still rings, where we have some monstrous strength skills in store.
So as Cameron said, they alternate who will be starting each event. So we'll be starting with Michigan this rotation. We're starting with Rithik Puri. He just qualified last weekend at the Windy City Classic. He qualified to Winter Cup, so he's feeling fired up and confident after that great meet last weekend, looking to start this rings rotation off strong for the Wolverines.
And all these guys on Michigan's lineup are so strong. So it's going to be interesting to see how they score today.
For today's third rotation, both teams will compete on the rings. Up first for Michigan, Rithik Puri.
Rithik starts up with a nice back of Bryce Maltese. Look at that strength. Great position there. Another kip to Maltese. Great position as well. Every strength element needs to be held for at least 2 seconds. A nice back giant to handstand. Just look at the control there too. We call those Yamawakis, the double front tuck and double front pike. It's a great set so far. Finish this with a nice double-double. Step forward, but a great set nonetheless. Great start for Michigan and for Rithik.
Great start. I love Rithik's gymnastics because he's always pushing himself. Always pushing the envelope with what his goals are, and I really like that. Definitely motivating, great leader for the team.
Yeah, and he's always pushing himself to beat his own brother, Akshay, who's up next for the Wolverines after our first Army competitor.
Yes, and first up for Army, we have Blaze Kennedy, sophomore. He scored a 12.75 last weekend. He made it to event finals, so looking for a good start here. He has some experience. He was competing regularly on horse and P-bars last year, so not as familiar in this lineup, but definitely has that competitive experience to set him up for success here.
Starts with a kip to L hold, into another tuck Yamawaki, into the pike Yamawaki. And a nice back of rise to straddle L. Nice line so far. Nice back giant, good control there. And a nice half-half, a double back with a full twist. Almost got that stick, not quite, but a clean set.
Great start for them. As Cameron mentioned, next up we have freshman Akshay Puri, brother of Rithik. 4 Puri brothers have actually gone to Michigan. Akshay and his twin brother go here now, along with Rithik. Their older brother graduated a few years back. So there's quite a few of them who have made their way through the Michigan pipeline.
Absolutely, yeah. It's a
Akshay's,
family dynasty.
yes, absolutely. And Akshay's great here. He scored a 13.75 in the home opener. Last weekend he had a great routine, had a little trouble on the dismount, but still overall a great rings guy. So he's been working really hard in the gym to dial in that dismount. So looking for a great routine here from him.
And he's trying an upgraded dismount this week. So we'll see how that goes. All right, 13.7 from Rithik Puri to start. Let's see if Akshay can beat him.
Friendly competition there.
Yeah. Nice back of rise to the straight plunge. Into a lower to the Maltese, super strong. Nice back of rise to handstand. Both Rithik and Akshay, great control in their handstands. A little back arch there, but still a nice back giant. Pike Yamawaki, tuck Yamawaki, very fluid. And a nice double layout full. Couple steps forward, but that's a new dismount for him, so great that he put it on his feet.
You know, it's interesting. So last weekend, he actually technically did an easier dismount that he struggled with and found that this harder dismount is easier for him.
Sometimes gymnastics works in funny ways like that. It was a great routine up to the couple steps in the dismount. He'll get a couple large deductions for the chest being down and the couple steps, but nevertheless, good routine, something to be proud of.
Absolutely. And up next, again, we have freshman Nick Lester. He scored a 12.35 last weekend. So following up Kennedy's score, looking for another solid routine here from him.
Nice kip to L to start. To the tuck and the pike Yamawakis. A little struggle to get up there on that front giant. Nice back giant. Good control there. And another tuck, half in, half out dismount. The double back to the full twist. One step there. Pretty clean routine.
Next up for the Wolverines, we have senior Chris Reed. He also had a brother who was on the team a couple years back who was also an extremely great rings worker. So Chris scored a 13.9 last weekend, which is huge on rings. He's currently ranked 7th in the NCAA, so he can hit big here. Hit big here if he holds his positions and sticks that landing.
Nice back rise to straight plunge to start. Lowers to the Maltese. Great position, great hold. Nice back of rise Maltese. He's looking strong today. Back of rise to handstand, nice control. Pike Yamawaki, tuck Yamawaki. Nice back of rise to L hold. Little hesitation on that press. Oh, he just kicked out a little bit early, didn't have that rotation, sat down on the dismount. It was a great set up until that point.
He's generally pretty good at dialing in that landing too, finding it. Because it's a blind landing, so it's not easy to stick, but he's pretty good at finding that most of the time. Next up for Army, we have sophomore Carter Beck. He is no stranger to this lineup. He competed as a freshman in the rings lineup and the horse lineup, so he has that experience to help them keep this great rotation going. He scored a 12.35 last weekend, so right on par with his teammates. So looking for another solid hit here from him.
Nice kip to Maltese, good position there. Into the lower to the iron cross, a staple in men's gymnastics. Kip to L-hold, very nice lines. Beautiful tuck Yamawaki to the pike Yamawaki. Little struggle to get up that back of Bryce handstand. And a tuck half-half to finish the routine. Big step forward, but nevertheless, pretty clean routine other than that.
Good save there on the dismount too.
And I think a common thing with rings especially is most people are pretty good at the positions. Most people are pretty good at the swings and the handstands. But not everyone's good at the dismount. So if you can nail your dismount, you're getting a great score.
Absolutely. Speaking of nailing great dismounts, next up we have Javier Alfonso. This guy is a beast on rings. He's two-time All-American. He's ranked #1 in the NCAA right now. And he scored a huge 15-0 last weekend. So he is capable. His start value is a 5.6 here if he does everything as planned. So he can hit big here.
And a 13.3 and 13.05 from Akshay and Chris Reed, which are not bad considering the big deductions that they had on the dismounts.
Competing fourth on rings for Michigan, Javier Alfonso.
Starts with a huge back of rise to inverted cross. Into the back of rise straight planche. Look at that position. Lowers to Maltese. Perfectly held. Pike Yamawaki, tuck Yamawaki, back of rise to straddle L. Closes to a nice straight planche. Doing a strength skill like that later in the set is so difficult. Nice back of rise to handstand. Clean back giant. And a lay half-half dismount. Small hop forward, but that's an incredible routine.
Great routine from Javi. We can always rely on him for the theatrics after the routine. Not quite as enthusiastic as he was last weekend about that, but he's always out there yelling, screaming. So love to see the energy from him.
Yeah, the first competition we had here in Cliff Keen in the season, he didn't even salute the judge. He was so excited.
Which can be a deduction, so
it definitely
that was
is a
swiftly
deduction.
dealt with. Next up, we have freshman Jaden Blank. He is the top scorer for the Black Knights this year on rings. So they're looking for a good hit from him. He scored a 12.75 last weekend, qualifying him to event finals the next day. So definitely can hit big here for them. They've been hitting pretty well so far, but I think this might be the routine that sets the standard for the rest of the lineup.
Nice kip to O hold to start. Beautiful tuck Yamawaki and the pike Yamawaki. Good line here. Good back giant, little wobble there. And a tuck half dismount. Big hop back. Nevertheless, good routine.
Way to minimize that landing, though. If you saw, he kind of hopped back and landed a little cattywampus on the mat there, which could have turned into another step. So good that he could stop his momentum and just keep it at that.
Yep.
Last up on rings, we have fifth-year Paul Judah. He's great here, like on every other event. Starts from a 5-4, and again, you'll notice here his execution is just top-notch.
14-5 from Javier Alfonso. Huge score for the Wolverines.
Final competitor on the rings for Michigan, Paul Judah.
Starts with a nice back abreast to straight plunge. Lowers to the Maltese.
He's really been working on that, too.
He's gotten a lot better at it. Nice back abreast to handstand. Beautiful pike Yamawaki to the tuck Yamawaki. And this is where Paul excels in just the swing skills and the strength at the end of the routine. So clean.
Definitely puts the still in still rings.
Nice back giant. And a nice double stick to wrap up the rings lineup for the Wolverines. Great way to end it for them. Didn't even look like he was going to stick it. Looked like he was a little bit ahead of himself, but then pulled it around. That'll be a great score.
Great way to finish the rotation for them. And last up for Army, we have freshman Noah Duran. So he has not competed on this event yet, still early in the season, so he is making his NCAA debut tonight on this event. He's competed on horse and P-bar so far this season. So we'll see what he does here, but he has the potential to do very well considering how he's done so far this season on the other events.
Final competitor for Army on the rings, Noah Duran.
Nice start. Nice back abreast to straddle plunge. We don't see the back abreast to straddle plunge as often anymore because the skill itself got downgraded. But nevertheless, he did it great. And a nice double layout to end the routine. A little pike in the dismount, but it was a great set. Good way to end it for Army on rings.
And great first rings routine in the NCAA for him.
And now the men have a 6-minute interval where they can get a one touch on the last 3 events. So we are going to take a break in the commentary, and we will be back shortly. And we are back for the last 3 events in the competition between Michigan and Army. We'll be starting on the vault, with Army starting us off now. After 3 events, Michigan is at a 203.9, Army is at a 187.8.
We'll be starting off again with senior captain Stephen Manilakis. Was Army. He's one of their top scorers. He was their top scorer last week with a 14.15, which is a great score on vault. So definitely a great senior veteran to get them started off on the right foot.
I believe from his warm-ups, he's going to do a Kazumatsu full. Huge Kazumatsu full. 1 step back, but a clean vault. Very high.
Great execution.
Great start for them.
And then first up for Michigan, we have freshman Jake Islam. This is the first time we're seeing him today, but he has been competing on floor and vault for the Wolverines the past couple weeks. Last weekend, he got a 13.95 on his Yurchenko double. So he's a clean vault. Sorry, he doesn't do a Yurchenko double.
Kazumatsu.
Leading first for Michigan on the vault, Jake Islam.
He'll be doing the same vault that the previous Army gymnast did with another half twist, the Kazumatsu, 1.5, 4/10 higher in difficulty. Oh, he just did the Kazumatsu full. Little short landing there. Just kind of limping off.
I know the mats look soft, but they are not very forgiving, especially when you land a little bit short.
No.
So hopefully nothing too severe there.
I think he'll be okay. He just took a super short landing, and that hurts so bad.
Stings the ankles for sure.
Absolutely. Yeah, he's walking it off now.
We have Nick Lester again, scoring a 13.95 last weekend. So he's consistent across the board. So again, great person to have in their lineups.
Another huge Kaz full.
Very clean, too.
Clean in the air for sure, yeah. Another little bit of a short landing. These guys are stinging their ankles today.
And next up, we have David the Kid Wolma. This guy is the real deal on vault, man. He has cat-like abilities to stick this landing. And he'll be adding that extra half twist that Cameron was talking about. And man, can he stick this vault. He has this innate ability to dial in that landing. And he's 2 for 2 so far this season. So let's see if he can make it a third.
Yeah, he All-Americaned both of his last 2 years at the NCAA Championships by sticking this same vault both times. Let's see if he can do it again. Wow. And he does it again. That's 3 for 3 now.
He's incredible, man. I don't know how he does that. Every time. And he does that in practice too. It's not just like it's competition luck. He does that all the time.
All the time.
Incredible.
Incredible vault for the Wolverines.
And next up, we have sophomore Maddox Pabian. He didn't compete on vault last week, but he was one of the team's scoring leaders last year on the vault, and throughout the year, he was a consistent competitor on this event. Again, like I said, a few rotations back, Rookie of the Year, so he's definitely a reliable competitor here. Has that experience as well.
And a huge 14.8 from David Wolma. Nice Kaz full. stepped out of bounds, that's going to be an extra 10th of deduction. But nevertheless, he saved it to 1 step.
Another clean vault for them. You'll notice a little bit, he had a little bit of leg separation on the pre-flight as well, so they're going to get him a little bit there, but an overall great vault for them.
Yeah, it seemed like he kind of crunched into the table a little bit. Didn't get the block that he wanted, but he still got some good height.
And then next up for the Wolverines, we have Rithik Puri. He will be doing the Yurchenko double full, and he does it well. Nice and clean, solid landing. Last week got a 13.8. It only starts from a 4.8, so a little bit lower than the past couple of vaults we've seen, but he's really good at dialing in that landing and keeping it as clean as possible.
Rithik Puri.
And a nice Yurchenko double full. 1 hop back. Didn't quite finish the twist. If I were the judge, I would probably take a 10th or 2 there. Nevertheless, great landing, great vault.
Good vault for them. Next up for Army, we have Franco Pirano. He's a senior, and he actually won this event last weekend at the West Point Open with a 14.2. Qualified him to event finals. So he's definitely capable of scoring big here. Be a great person to almost close out the rotation with here.
Competing fourth on the vault for Army, Franco Pirano.
Wow.
And a huge cos full stick. Super clean in the air. Huge height. And he's going to get that extra stick bonus, that extra 10th for sticking the landing.
That was great.
That's going to be a big score for Army.
Next up for the Wolverines, we have Landon Blixt. So he does that Yurchenko vault that we just saw his teammate do, but he has an extra half twist to it. So he does a 2.5. He's a great vaulter, super clean, has had some inconsistencies here and there last year into this year with landing, but when he lands it, man, he can score really big. So last weekend got a 14.65, great score for him, so we'll see what he does this week.
Yeah, and he lands it and sticks it in the gym all the time. So if he can get a good block off the table here, it's going to be sky high. On a low landing there. Saved it from the fall. Might have skimmed the mat a little bit, but
Good save.
yeah, good save there.
Looks like he may have crunched a tiny bit onto the table, prevented him getting as high as he normally does. But again, a good save. Didn't fall, so that's always good.
Yeah, and that's kind of what I was talking about before, is if he got the best block that he could, it would have been sky high. That wasn't quite the block that he wanted, but I know he'll be back in the gym working that.
And then last up for Army, we have Johnny Peents. So he actually scored the second best behind his teammate with a 14.15, also going to event finals, and he's the top scorer for the team so far on this event. So definitely a good, reliable competitor to end them off this rotation.
And a nice Yurchenko double full stick. Gets that extra stick bonus. Way to end it for the Knights.
It almost looked like he was a little bit far back on the board and the table, but he adjusted great.
Yeah, definitely.
And found that landing, so.
Yeah, his feet were pretty close to the table, so he didn't necessarily get as much distance from the table as I think most people would like, but it didn't matter. He stuck
Found
it.
that landing.
Yeah, it's going to be a good score.
So last up for the Wolverines, we have Paul Judah, and man, this guy is incredible at vault. He's an NCAA champion. He qualified to vault finals at this past year's World Championships, where he did a Yurchenko double pike. Huge vault. He won't be doing that today, just sticking to the, simple cause 1.5. But nevertheless, a great vaulter.
Yeah, what makes Paul so good at this vault is his legs staying tight and close together on the pre-flight of this vault, so there won't be any splits or anything like that in the air. And a huge stick! And that was just incredible. It reminds me of the one that he won NCAAs with.
Carbon copy right there.
Absolutely. Way to end it for the Wolverines.
Fired up for him.
And that may go even higher than David Walma's vault just because of that pre-flight and him gluing his legs together. That was incredible.
That was awesome. You hear the team chanting, Paul is back. I know everyone is so excited to see him back in the NCAA competition realm after a year off from injuries. So exciting start to his NCAA season. Wow.
Paul Judah with a 15-0.
Incredible.
Massive score, 9-7 execution, which means he only got 3/10 off.
Incredible.
Where the 3/10? I have no idea, but
he even
great
stuck
score.
with his feet together.
Yeah. So after that rotation, Army finishes with a 69.95. Michigan finishes with a 71.8.
Great rotation for both teams.
Absolutely, yeah.
Lots of stuck landings.
Anytime you have a vault rotation with multiple sticks in there, it's super exciting.
Absolutely.
Once again, get up on your feet. Who wants a free t-shirt?
Up next, we got the parallel bars. And Michigan will be starting on this event. You see the guys right now shocking up the bars, putting a little bit of honey, using some sandpaper to sand down the bars, make them smooth, make them grippy so that they can hold on for their underbar skills.
And they'll be starting off with freshman Pierce Wolfgang. We haven't seen him yet today, but he has been competing in the all-around the past couple weekends and doing very well at that. His NCAA debut, he actually won the all-around a couple weeks back. So he's a great athlete all around. Just doing P-bars today, but definitely a good person to start them off.
Yeah, tremendous potential. P-bars is going to be an exciting one to watch, especially on the Michigan end, because all of their guys are so talented. They work super hard in the gym, and the cap is super high for these guys in terms of scoring potential on parallel bars. It's one of their highest scoring events, especially from last year. So
lots of depth on this event for them.
Absolutely.
For today's fifth rotation, both teams will be competing on parallel bars. First up, for Michigan, Pierce Wolfgang.
Starts with a nice peach to the handstand. Nice giant. Nice to pelt into the middle of the bars. Stutz to handstand. Couple steps there. Diamidov, a full spin on one arm. Very clean so far. Nice peach to support. All he's got left is the dismount. And a nice double pike with a small hop back. That's a super clean routine. That's going to be a good score. A great way to start it off for them.
First up for Army, we have sophomore Blaze Kennedy. He competed regularly on this event his freshman year, so he's no stranger to this lineup. Last weekend, he scored a huge 13.55, made it to event finals. So he has a high scoring potential on this event. Definitely a great person to start this rotation off for them.
Competing first on parallel bars from Army, Blaze Kennedy.
Starts with a nice giant. To a giant to Suarez. The backflip with a half twist. Very clean. Nice to pelt to the end. Traveled pretty far down the bars, but I think that was his intention. Nice moy to the support. Back to the middle of the bars. And a double pike. Just a kind of a hop skip there, but a very clean routine. Good start for Army.
Really good start. And up second for the Wolverines is Javier Alfonso. So he didn't compete last weekend at the Windy City meet, but he did compete in the home opener where he scored a 13-1. And he's had experience in this lineup over the past couple years. So definitely a veteran on this event, looking for a good score from him.
We saw Javi on the floor. We saw him on rings. Now you're starting to see a theme of his form is impeccable, even his toe point, his lines. So you'll see it come out to play, especially out here on P-bars.
Yeah.
A nice 13.55 to start for Pierce Wolfgang.
Right
Very
on
clean
par with
set.
what he's done so
Yep.
far this season too. So
Competing second for Michigan on parallel bars, Javier Alfonso.
Starts with a nice Healy, which is basically the reverse of the Diamidov that we saw earlier. Peach to handstand, little struggle to get up there, had to planche it up a bit. There's the Diamidov.
look at
Nice
that
clean
toe
giant.
point.
Just beautiful toe point. That's what we call the Bobzar, a variation of the Tapelt that we've seen a couple times already. Great skill. Yeah, look at his lines. Nice Tapelt.
He's looking a little tired here. Hopefully he can pull around the dismount. Wow.
A nice double pike, just a small hop forward. You were right, he was looking a little bit tired at the end of the routine, but he saved it well. That'll be a pretty decent score.
Good routine from Javi. Next up, we have another freshman, Max Rubin. He made his collegiate debut on P-bars and floor a couple weekends ago and has been competing on P-bars since then. He scored a 12.65 last weekend. Good score on P-bars. Again, it's another one of those routines that's a little bit longer, a little bit more intricate. So the scores, you aren't going to see those 15, high 14 scores that we saw in the last event here. So definitely a good score, 12.65.
Second on parallel bars for Army, Maximilian Rubin.
Starts with a nice Tapelt into the middle of the bars. Diam, a couple steps forward, a little leg split there.
Good save.
A Moy back to the middle of the bars. Peach support. And a nice double tuck to finish. The double tuck is not as difficult as the double pike. It's 1/10 less in terms of difficulty, but he performed that well.
Next up for the Wolverines, we have fifth-year Crew Bold. Now, Crew struggled a little bit last week on P-bars. Wasn't quite the routine they were hoping for from him, but he has a very high scoring potential in this event. He has the highest start from the Wolverines with a 5.6. So he has a high scoring capability if he can hit. So looking for a good comeback from last weekend here.
13.85 from Javier Alfonso. Very, very good score.
Competing third on the parallel bars for Michigan, Crew Bold.
Starts out with a drop cast to the, we call that a hamna. There's a backup rise with a front toss. Nice peach with the half twist. Another peach to the handstand. Little flutter of the toes there. Nice Diamondov. Into the giant Diamondov, huge skill. Nice giant. Stutz to the handstand. Just a little struggle there. Nice peach to the L. And if he can land this double front dismount, this is going to be a huge score.
Nice.
And he does. Just a small hop forward, but that's a great routine. It's going to be a great score.
And Crew's one of the taller gymnasts out there, so swinging that tall body around on P-bars is not an easy task, but he does a very good job of that.
Yeah, he actually has to raise the bars one notch, which is only allowed in the NCAA. So he has a tough time when he goes into the USA Championships types of meets because they don't allow that at the elite level, but he gets away with it here, so it's good for him.
Competing third on parallel bars for Army, Steve Manalakis.
Next up, we have Steven Manalakis again, getting that senior captain. Came to play today, man. He's on a couple events today.
Starts again with that drop cast to the hamna. A little struggle to get up to handstand. That's going to be a deduction. Follows it up with a nice Healy. Nice Diamondov to handstand. And a Stutz. A backup rise to straddle cut. Very unique skill. You don't see that one every day now. And a double pike. Kind of whipped off the bars, but he saved the landing with one step. That was good. Had a little shake of the head. I'm not sure if he was happy with that set, but it looked pretty clean from here.
Next up, we have Logan McEwen. He is actually the team high scorer right now on P-bars. He has a very unique routine. You'll notice Cameron will point out in the middle of the routine, has a very unique skill that he does that always catches the crowd's attention. He scored a 14.45 last weekend. So he can score big here, and he has been so far this season. So looking for another good hit.
Competing fourth on the parallel bars for Michigan, Logan McEwen.
Logan also starts out with the drop cast to the hamna. Very nice to start. Starts a nice peach handstand. Nice back toss, very unique skill. And then now watch this right here. Crazy skill. He learned that in only a couple weeks, I believe. Nice heel, a little leg split there in the middle. Nice Diam. And a stutz to handstand. Now he's just got the dismount. Oh, and a big step back, but he saves it well. And a good routine from Logan. Almost sat down that dismount, but he saved it.
Good save. Logan's been a great leader for this team. He's really stepped up vocally. He was the interim team captain last weekend while the two team captains were away. So definitely a good leader on this team. I know a lot of people look up to him, look for him for advice. So great person to have around.
Mm-hmm. And Logan's a grinder. He just does a ton of numbers in the gym, works super hard. So it's awesome to see him hit sets.
Next up, we have freshman Noah Duran. He's also their top scorer on this event for this season so far. He scored a 13-6 last weekend, which is huge. So he's been competing on this event the past couple weekends. Definitely someone who can compete with that top score that Logan and crew just put up. So
starts with the drop cast to the back of Bryce handstand, which I think is a more basic variation of the back of Bryce front toss or the Hamna that we've seen from a couple of the guys. Nice healing. Nice Diamidov to handstand. Stutz. Oh, and he just came off. Looked like his hand slipped off the side of the bar. The routine was going well up until that point. Does the stutz again, this time better. Peach to the support. He finishes with the double front, low squat there, but he saved it again. Last two dismounts have been low squats and nice saves, but
not the routine he was looking for, but he is just a freshman, and he has been hitting very well up until this point. So definitely has a bright future ahead, especially on this event.
Mm-hmm. And it's tough always to come to an away meet. And these guys had a flight that was delayed last night, and they got in super late. So to come out here and just hit some routines is definitely good to see. Shows true grit, perseverance. So.
Which they all definitely have.
Absolutely.
Last up for the Wolverines, we have Landon Blix. So Landon struggled a little bit last weekend as well. Had a fall, only scoring 11.65. But again, he has a higher start value. He's up there with Crew and Logan. He starts from a 5.4. So he has a very high scoring potential, and he's also super clean on these events where you can really show off that artistry. So if he can hit, he can score up there with the top guys.
Mm-hmm.
Fifth and final competitor for Michigan on the parallel bar for Landon Blix.
And Landon's going to start from the end of the bars with a peach to handstand. Little bent arms there. A nice bobsar. Might have skimmed his feet on the bars a little bit. Nice to pelt. Nice healing. There's the stutz again. And the Diamidov to handstand. A nice front uprise front, 1 1/4. A unique skill as well. And a nice double front with only a small hop. Almost got the stick there. but a definite improvement from last week's routine.
He's going to be really happy with that. Landon's really been dialing the mental aspect of the sport, and I think that routine right there will help him get back on track. Last up for Army, we have Jackson Pofel. So he hasn't competed yet this season, so he's making his season debut right now. He is a senior, so he definitely has experience and someone you can rely on to hit their last routine of the event. So we'll see what he does here.
Fifth and final competitor on parallel bars for Army, Jackson Pofel.
Oh, starts with a nice Makuts, which is basically a half of a Diam and a half of a Healy. Very difficult skill. Nice Diam it up to handstand. Stutz to handstand. Drop cast to the back of rise handstand. And a nice double pike. Really snuck that double pike in there. Just one step back, but a great routine.
That was a great end to that rotation for Army. And he's another one who's super tall, so the fact that he can swing that long body around on the P-bars as well as he did, great finish for them.
And an impressive Makuts as well. It's a super hard skill. We're still waiting on the last score for Army, but the Wolverines finished with a 69.5 on P-bars. With a 13.7 from Landon Blixt. Great score for him.
Rotation highlighted by Logan's 14.3. Great score for him.
We got our last event, the horizontal bar, the high bar, coming up with Army to start. I believe we're taking a couple seconds though because the judges have to move stations, and I believe there was an inquiry or two on the scores.
The winning score after today's fifth rotation for Michigan, 345.
And Army finishes with a 62.85 on P-bars. So going into the last event, Michigan's at a 345.2, and Army's at a 320.6.
For his outstanding performance today on the parallel bars. All right, one more time, fans. Get up on your feet. Who wants a green t-shirt?
Like Cameron said, Army will be starting off this rotation. They'll be starting with Tucker Blanchard. He's a junior, and he has not competed yet this season. He is an upperclassman, has that experience. Good person to get them started on this event. We'll see what he's able to do here.
High bar is always such an exciting event to watch and to finish on. You never know what can happen. There are some huge sets. There's always some misses with the releases, the nature of people coming off the bar. We saw at the World Championships, but exciting nonetheless.
For today's final rotation, both teams will compete on the high bar. First up for Army, Tucker Blanchard.
Blanchard, he's a taller guy, so they actually had to raise the high bar one height notch just so he could swing through the bottom without hitting the lowest mat, which is always funny to me.
You ever had that problem?
Nope. I'm 5'4". Starts with a nice Yamawaki, a little piked in the air. Stalled her. Nice straddle to Tkachev. A quast, which is basically a full turn. See that little flying giant there as well. Nice blind change paraway. He's going to wind up for this dismount. Nice laid out half-half dismount. One step forward, but a great set to start off Army.
Great routine. Love the line. The length of the gymnast might make it harder, but man, it looks so great out there on the high bar.
Oh, absolutely. High bar is all about just staying on the bar and hitting those angles at handstand, so it was a great start for them.
We'll have junior Rithik Puri starting them off on the high bar. Rithik has some big releases here to start the routine off, so excited to see those from him, especially as the first person up.
Yeah, he downgraded his routine last week for the Windy City Invitational, just to kind of keep it clean, consistent, and on the bar. He's going to add back his, what we call the Casina, which is a double layout with a full twist over the bar, a ginormous skill. He'll start with that. Nice upstart. Starts with a Takamoto half. He's going to wind up for this Casina. And a huge Casina. Slaps it on the bar. And now for the same skill in the tuck position. Nice catch there. We call that a Coleman. Stalled her there. The quast, the full twist. Nice flying giant. He's going to wind up for this dismount. And a nice stick for the laid half-half. Incredible set from Rithik Puri. And the crowd's going nuts.
What a great way to start off the rotation for them. Huge routine. Next up for Army, we have Johnny Peents. He scored a 12.65 last weekend on this event. Definitely has a couple routines under his belt. He competed last year on this event a few times. So we'll see what he can do here.
And Blanchard went 12.6 on that last routine from Army, which is not bad because he had a low start value but an 8.6 execution. Starts with a nice, oh, stalled her to Tkachev. Very unique skill. Didn't expect that. A nice stalled her. Quast. Quast with a half turn. We call that a Rabalco. Does an endo, which is the reverse of a stalder. A nice jam. Now he's in the L grip. He's just winding up for the dismount. And a nice laid out half-half. He had a little bit of pike in the dismount, a couple steps forward. that he's glad he put it on his feet. Another hit for Army.
Up second for the Wolverines, again, we have freshman Pierce Wolfgang. Now, Pierce, he doesn't have the highest start value on the team, but again, like we saw on P-Bars, he's very clean, and he can score really well here despite not having quite as much difficulty as his teammates do.
Yeah, he's got a very unique couple skills in a sequence called German Giants or Czech Giants in here. They're very technical, but they don't look that difficult to the normal viewer.
He does them very well, too.
Starts with an endo to a pike endo, very unique. Just added this in here. He's going to go for a pike to Tkachev. Nice catch there. And for the straddle to Tkachev. Oh, and he just peels off. Just a little bit late. And this is why high bar is so nerve-wracking, also so exciting. Not exciting that he fell, but it's exciting that things can change in a heartbeat. So let's hope that he can get this routine back and get a good score up still.
And they have a 5-up, 5-count format, so they will have to count this score. So that's going to mean the rest of the lineup is really going to have to hit well to account for this fall.
And here's the German Giant sequence I was just talking about. Super unique. He does it very well.
Beautiful.
He's going to wind up for the dismount now. Nice layout, half-half dismount, little hop forward. And I've seen him hit this routine so many times. He's hit it the last couple meets, gotten great scores. So a little bit off today, but he'll get it back, no doubt.
Next for Army, we have junior Noah Pace, and he also has some experience on this event. He's been seen regularly in the past couple years on high bar. He scored a 12.05 last weekend, so definitely capable of scoring up there with Tucker Blanchard, who started off their rotation with a 12.6.
Competing third for Army on the high bar, Noah Pace.
Another tall guy here. As you can see, the mats are spread so he doesn't hit the bottom. Starts off with a super unique, it's called a Zuli Min, a one-arm giant with a full twist. He's going to wind up into his releases now. Huge layout to Tkachev. Another huge pike to Tkachev, just slaps it on the bar. Nice one-arm giant. Free hip, little angle there. He's going to wind up to the dismount. A nice stick. And the layout, half-half dismount. And that was a great routine.
That experience is showing there.
With the exception of that angle on the free hip circle, the rest was relatively deduction-free.
Next for the Wolverines, we have Paul Judah. Now, Paul is a decorated athlete on this event. He's a Big Ten high bar champion, and he also qualified to event finals at the World Championship last year, where I believe he came just off the podium in fourth or fifth. So he can compete with the best in the world here. So looking for a really, really good routine here from Paul.
Yeah, this is going to be a slightly downgraded set. He's taking out a release, trying to do some different things.
Mind you, his downgraded set still starts from a 5-3.
Which is a great start value.
Competing third for Michigan on the high bar, Paul Judah.
Like all his other events, Paul's forte is that he's super clean. You're going to see it in his lines from the start here. Nice Yamawaki to start, just a little bit piked over the top. Nice layout to Tkachev. Connected to the straddle to Tkachev, to the pike to Tkachev. A triple combo. He's been wanting to do that for a while, and he finally got it done. Nice jam to the handstand. Inverted giant into a Russian giant, a little variation. To the Takamoto half. Oh, and he just came out the back end of that.
You know, he was trying to go big, trying to be perfect, and sometimes mistakes happen when you go big. But again, early in the season, good to try to make those mistakes now so that later on in the season, they don't happen.
He's trying to go for the handstand, which is great so that he doesn't get that angle deduction. But sometimes those things happen.
There he goes.
He's going to wrap it up with the dismount now. Nice double stick. Way to finish it up for Paul Judah.
Great meet back for him. Two-time team captain. I know it was hard for him last year to lead the team from the sidelines. He did a great job nevertheless. I know he's really excited to be back out there. Next up for Army, we have Jaden Blank. He made his all-around debut last weekend at the West Point Open. So definitely a good contender on all events for Army. He scored a 12.95 on this event. It's a great score for high bar, made it to event finals. Excited to see what he can put together here.
And with the exception of the 11.6 from Peens, Army's putting up some good scores, 12.6 and a 13.1. Let's see if they can capitalize on this here. Nice jam to the handstand. To the endo, into the pike endo. Very nice lines. He's going to do a release here now. Straddle Tkachev just slaps it on the bar. Call that one a finger tipper. Pike Stalder. Oh, and he just doesn't quite make it over. Gets back up in the bar. He's just going to continue this one. Stalder. A nice dismount. One step back. Little piked in the air. And that was on the road to being a great set. He has great lines. Just came out a little bit early on that piked Stalder.
Next up for the Wolverines, we have Fred Richard. Man, this Michigan high bar lineup is stacked, especially in these last three. Fred starts from a 5'7". He's an NCAA bar champion, Big Ten high bar champion, and he also won high bar at the U.S. Championships last summer. So he has the difficulty, the execution, and the experience, making him the full package on this event.
Fred's not doing his full difficulty today, but it's still going to be a high-flying routine.